Most people think that a secure password looks like this, or this. But from a cybersecurity perspective, all of these passwords are actually weak. Today, I'll explain what a truly secure password actually is and why most people get this completely wrong. There are some common myths about passwords. The first one is that passwords become secure by replacing letters with symbols, like turning A into @ or E into exclamation mark. Here, the problem is simple. Attackers already expect this. These substitutions are not clever anymore because they are built into every modern attack tool by default. Their real issue isn't symbols, it's predictable symbol placement. Another common myth that usually more advanced users fall into is that password length alone is the ultimate security factor. Here, the problem is more complex. The evidence from real breaches shows that even long, but structured and natural passphrases may get cracked fast, specifically because of statistical and language model-based cracking techniques. Most real-world password attacks don't involve guessing one password at a time. They rely on leaked password databases, dictionary attacks, and automated cracking tools with probabilistic grammars and Markov models. These tools can test millions or even billions when fast hashing algorithms are used of guesses per second. And they already include symbols, numbers, and common letter substitutions. Why can they test so many passwords in seconds? Because in many breaches, attackers are not interacting with a live website. They often work offline without the limits that protect online logging systems. So, what actually makes a password secure? In short, it's length combined with unpredictability, not decorative complexity. Every extra character increases the number of possible combinations exponentially. For example, if a password uses only 26 lowercase English letters, adding an additional character multiplies the attacker's guessing space by 26. Add another character and it multiplies again. That's how long passwords become powerful. But this only works when a password is hard to predict, not just long. Length multiplies strength only if attacker cannot predict the next character or the next word. And this matters even more today because the modern cracking systems are very good at predicting human-like text. In this example, the passphrase is more than 50 characters long, but it's a natural sentence built from very common words with clear grammar and an obvious structure. That makes it highly predictable and therefore rather weak despite its length. And in this example, the password is also kinda weak, but for a different reason. Although it doesn't form a full sentence, the words are still meaningful and statistically related. So it's harder to guess than the first example, but still predictable enough to fall within the dictionary-based modern attacks. Now we know the key insight. Length alone is not enough. Unpredictability is what allows length to actually matter. Only when both are present does a password become truly secure. And to be clear, this means unpredictability for a computer. If a human can easily invent a password, it's already too predictable. Because humans are terrible at randomness. Choices that a machine cannot statistically predict. And weird looking doesn't mean unpredictable. Now imagine a password made of 4 or 5 randomly selected words. Not words you personally choose, not a sentence, and not words that feel related, but words picked uniformly at random from a large word list. This kind of password can be very strong, not because it's complex, but because these words do not appear this way in natural language. Unfortunately, this basically only works when words are generated by a trusted password manager, not by intuition or creativity. Unless they actually roll a dice and pick the words from a dictionary, humans are bad at randomness. Of course, you can further break predictability by adding a number in the middle, changing case on only some words, or using multiple different word separators. As long as you apply all of these things randomly. Remember, you need to get rid of natural language first. Even if we adjust our previous examples of bad passwords into something like this, yes, it's better than this, but still not ideal from a cybersecurity perspective. Of course, passwords alone are not enough. Reusing the same passwords across services, ignoring two-factor authentication, or storing passwords insecurely will break even strong passwords. Strongly consider using password managers that allow you to generate long, truly random passwords that you never need to memorize. Any password you design yourself is by definition less secure than the one generated by a password manager. Unless you roll a dice and pick the words randomly from a large word list. But the moment you re-roll because you don't like a certain word, it's not random anymore. For the one password you actually have to remember, the password manager's master password, a long, unique, and unpredictable passphrase can be a reasonable trade-off. But for everything else, human-generated passwords don't scale. Security is always about having multiple layers, not using a single super trick. Many scams, account takeovers, and fraud cases don't start with advanced hacking. They start with weak credentials and predictable human behavior. Understanding simple security basics like this already protects you from a huge class of real-world attacks. A truly secure password is unique, long, and unpredictable. Special or additional characters don't save weak passwords. The combination of unpredictability and length does. If you want clear explanations about scams, fraud, and security in Web3 and beyond, subscribe. Thanks for watching and stay safe on chain.